Ideas are incredibly slippery things. They appear out of nowhere and disappear moments later. The real challenge is finding a way to grab them before they vanish. Here's something I've learned. Your work will be both easier and higher quality if you capture these ideas effectively, so that by the time you actually sit down to work on something, you won't be facing an empty sheet. I think I started capturing my ideas when I was 10 or so, and I still have my first ever commonplace book. But over the years, I also realized that you have to capture ideas, process and organize them in a very specific way to benefit from them. So in this video, I wanted to share my approach with you. The process is made up of two distinct steps: capturing and processing and organizing. And here's something crucial that took me years to learn. Both steps must be present, and respecting the separation between the two steps is extremely important. Why? If you start organizing every thought as it comes to your mind, you'll get overwhelmed and give up pretty quickly. And if you never organize, you will never use any of your notes. I did the latter for years. I had endless lists of recorded ideas on all sorts of topics, and I thought I would consult them when I needed them. But in reality, I never did, as it was just too overwhelming to go through all that randomness. So let's talk about the tools that you can use for capturing. What kind of inboxes could you have? I think inboxes is something that it's a bit misunderstood. I see people do these neat layouts for one-line inbox entries in their file of access. But here's the truth. Sometimes your entry will take only one line, but most of the time it will take half a page. You definitely don't want any constraints like that. You will be capturing your thoughts into your inbox without polishing them in any way, and they likely will be lengthy. So if you choose paper, don't draw out these neat tables, please. Blank sheets where you don't have to be neat and concise is all you need. But even though I love pen and paper so much, I think it's one of the more inferior ways when it comes to capturing, since you'll be capturing not just when you're sitting with your cappuccino in a coffee shop, but also when you're running after the bus or are in the shower or in between meetings. You need a tool that you can easily access. And since you'll need to process all of those thoughts, very regularly, by the way, having individual strings of digital text, like individual ideas that you either drag and drop or copy paste to the correct location, also means minimum effort. So as you choose inboxes, please do keep this in mind. My inboxes are voice memos on my phone, the inbox section on my Todoist, and occasionally post-its. Out of those, my most used inbox is probably my voice notes. I either record my voice notes on my Apple Watch. I have a complication shortcut for it. In fact, I bought the cheapest Apple Watch just for this one use case. Or much more rarely, I'm also holding my phone and I will record directly into the voice notes app. And the reason I decided to make voice notes my key capture tool is that whenever I am stuck creatively, I find that the best way for me to get unstuck is to get away from my desk. There's actually a Stanford study that found that walking can improve creativity by as much as 60%. And voice notes allow me to capture my thoughts and not have to, stop mid-walk to type on my phone. Sometimes I even guide my mind in an intentional direction using Cal Newport's methods of walking. He primes himself to think about a work question by reviewing what he has on it at his desk, and then he's going for a walk. I usually get tired at around noon of the kind of work that requires deep concentration that I do in the mornings, and then I walk back home for lunch. And it's a 40-minute walk that gives me movement and rest, but oftentimes I also use my walk to work without really working by thinking through a work issue as I walk. And more often than not, by the time I get home, I have a good enough solution. Post-its, on the other hand, is a recent new addition for me. I cannot quite explain why, but I realized that if I made notes on Post-its during meetings rather than in my notebook, I'm infinitely more likely to process them. Is it because I have one idea per Post-it? Is it because I love to crumple the paper after processing it? Maybe because fewer papers feels less overwhelming. I have no idea, but it really works for me. In any case, when you are starting out, I advise you to keep it as simple as possible. The fewer inboxes you have, the better. Because when you sit down to process your inbox, you need to process everything in those inboxes at once down to zero, otherwise it doesn't work. And if you've got too many different places that capture information, it becomes overwhelming to process all of them. But as you will get into the habit of capturing your thoughts, you will naturally figure out which contexts require what type of inbox in terms of convenience. Finally, on capturing, I want to add that sometimes I start to self-filter at the stage of recording the thought, like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Should I record it? Should I not? But actually, that's against the beauty or power of this method. It's hard to decide in the moment if a thought is valuable because you can only assess a thought in perspective, I think. So don't overthink it, record what you got, and you'll process it later. You need to process your inbox frequently. I do it nearly daily except for the weekends because as soon as I forget the context of my captured thought, reading through it and understanding what I meant takes so much time and effort. Whereas if it's something recorded recently, I can easily with one glance understand and just know what to do with it. Since the bulk of my inbox entries are voice notes, here's how I process them. I set this up with the help of Thomas Frank's video, which I'll link down below. First, I select all of my voice notes. By the way, did you know the 2-finger iPhone shortcut for select all? I then upload them to my Google Drive. I delete them in my app so it's at 0 again. And from there, it's automated using the API connection I set up on Pipedream. The voice notes from the drive get transcribed by ChatGPT, and by the way, it costs me less than like €1 per month, and they get saved in my inbox database in Notion. I then open this database, open notes one by one, and process them. Now, in my experience, a large part of my inbox entries gets discarded. When I look at an idea with a fresh pair of eyes, it often seems generic, not deep enough to be useful. But aside from trash, for the most part, my processed inbox goes into one of the 3 places. Action items in my GTD system powered by Todoist, and I made a video about it, which I'll link. Actual work in progress, more on this in a second, and pages in Notion dedicated to different topics. This is not really a video on organization because I personally don't have huge insights on this area, but generally though, I think it's important to save your ideas wherever you keep your work on a particular topic. For instance, I facilitate a couple of corporate trainings that I designed, and I try to improve them every time I teach them. And in between, I have thoughts on how to improve them that come to me all the time at the most random moments, and I capture them. So when I do the processing, I just drop them into the slides themselves. And when I will be working on the slide next time that I teach this course, it can be in a month or maybe in half a year, they will be there for me ready to work on. As for Notion pages, I keep a page for each client or work type that I do, like newsletter, community. I manage an online community, like client X, client Y, client Z. And I drop all my thoughts regarding the topic on those pages. And I have to say that at first I don't organize them at all. I wait to have enough bullets there that it becomes messy, and then I look for a kind of page structure that this accumulated content calls for. It's very difficult to predict a structure in the absence of information, and I think in the past I was starting to organize way too early before I knew what was that thing that I was organizing. So now, for instance, after half a year of collecting thoughts about that community that I run, I realized that most of them were checklist items for like different activities that we did. So I organized everything into checklists. So, instead of showing you the structure of my Notion, I want to leave you with a different thought. I think we need a philosophy of how to deal with tools. I think between a myriad of productivity tools and YouTube tutorials on them, it's easy to get lost and set up systems before setting up processes, like, implementing the solution before defining the problem. And it's the opposite. The system has to serve a specific process, in my opinion, and hence it should be always informed by one. Processes come first, then system makes the process smoother and more automated. So we should not be aiming at setting it all up perfectly and then start using it. The perfect structure will be built through tiny iterations and will reflect the specificity of our work. So my recommendation is less tutorials, more asking ourselves, what is the issue that I personally have that I would like to find a solution to, than a very low-tech MVP. And then maybe we can start thinking, okay, how can I solve this technically in a more elegant, more effective way? So you might have noticed that in this video, I mostly talk about recording my own thoughts, and I don't really talk about organizing information from external sources, like from videos or courses. And I do this intentionally because, on the one hand, to be honest, I haven't given it a thought like the other part, but also my initial hunch is that when I would want to consult an external source, it would be at a point when I'm actually working on something. And for the most part, I would not need to categorize information ahead of time. So as I work on something and I research something, I would simply save that useful information in my work in progress document. And of course, there are exceptions. I used to be a product manager in a fintech company, so I constantly scanned other companies' solutions and I just updated like a marketing research document. But generally, I'm past the phase of attempting to organize the internet and build my own Wikipedia page just in case. Instead, I know I can always look it up when the question comes up and is relevant to my work. And then there's no question of where does this information go? It goes into the work that I'm actually doing. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments how you capture and organize your idea. I'd love to hear your approaches. Maybe I'll learn something too. Thank you for watching. Bye.